Welcome back to another episode of the Bear Trap on the Boomer Bust channel, a Bears podcast by a Bears fan. I'm your host, Terry, and today talking about our Week 3 loss against the Cleveland Browns, and woo, that was ugly. I'm sure y'all don't want to hear this to start off, but that's how I'm starting off. Justin Fields, you know who he reminded me of? Not even him, but just the situation and watching and just the football of it. Mitch Trubisky. Yes, I said it. And again, I'm not saying he's the same player as Mitch Trubisky, but he reminded me, or I should say this game reminded me of Mitch Trubisky. Now, here's what I don't understand. It's been, three? I always forget. I want to say 3 seasons. Is this the 4th season? And it's like, I've been talking about this every week. And I understand not everybody listens and, part of this channel. So I have discussions with people that aren't familiar with my content. But even if you aren't, I'm just like, how do you watch this year after year and just expect something different? Like, everybody keeps talking like they expect something different. And it's the same stuff. What has changed? What made you think that you were going to see anything different? As I said, coming into the season, not only are we pretty much the same, if anything, we're a little worse. And that's just what it's been. So you talk about the offensive line. I've talked about it for a while. I mean, trust me. And everybody will deny it now, but the proof is there. There were people jumping down my throat when I was talking about Leno and everybody. I'm like, the O-line's not good. Oh, my God. Cody Whitehair is one of the best centers in the league. Charles Leno went to the Pro Bowl. You're a hater and all that stuff. And then it became cool to hate on the O-line. Then it turned around and people were like, oh, the O-line's good. No, it is not. It is not. Like, it is so hard to talk to fans who don't understand situation. You don't understand context of football because you see us look good or have numbers and you think that's the end all be all. That is not how that works. You have to put it in the context. Even to the point with the Rams, as I was saying, when we played them week 1, you got to understand how they were lined up and what they were doing philosophically. We were going to be able to run the ball. Now, again, we still look pretty good. Dave Montgomery does his thing, but at the end of the day, our O-line, we know they can't pass protect, but also in terms of the run game, they're not great either. And so when you talk about quarterbacks and all that, I've said this forever, you cannot compare quarterbacks because they have to be in the same situation because it's too much that happens around a quarterback. And so people want to talk about Andy Dalton. They want to talk about Nick Foles. They want to talk about Mitch Trubisky. They want to talk about Justin Fields. And I said this even when Foles was playing. I'm like, nothing's going to change. Now, this whole, Trubisky's quick, though. And since we can't pass block, Trubisky should be in because he's quicker and he could elude pressure. Guess what? It don't matter. It really don't matter. You're not going to be able to just completely get over it because you're quick. When you don't have time to pass, everything's off. Football's a rhythm thing. And so even this idea of like backyard scrambling, extending the play, that don't work when you don't have protection. And so that is what it all goes back to. Jason Peters is over the hill. Said that before. And then Affetti's not good. He's not good at all as a tackle. And then the interior is okay. Mustafa's limited. But and it's funny because I think I talked about this in the NFL last year. But the NFL, not just the Bears, it's really an issue with the stunts in the games on the D-line. Like, these O-lines really seem confused. And it's crazy because it's very, I would say, high school level concepts when you're talking about how to defend that or how to block it, I should say. And I don't know, because you look at the Browns and Dredrick, I can never pronounce his name, but Wills, he was hurt today, so I understand. But he looked terrible. And then there was a couple times they just looked bad. And so this is one of the best offensive lines in the league. So if Cleveland looked bad with that stuff, what do you think is going to happen when they stunt on us? Or when they put Myles Garrett on the same side as Jadeveon Clowney? Or they go 3-on-1? Or they do a TE stunt? Like, that stuff absolutely obliterated us, as we can see. Just sacked all the time. And so it is hard to even really talk about Justin Fields as a player because he's getting no real look. And everybody's giving him that benefit of the doubt. But then you had a lot of people that wouldn't give Trubisky that. But I would say Trubisky, obviously, we saw over time, and even times when he did have time to throw, what he could do. So it's hard to say right now with Justin Fields, but you do see some similarities where either you're talking about his clock being sped up, and I say that all the time about Trubisky. The clock is sped up. And it's tough because at a young age, when that happens, it's hard to get over. Like, people talk about David Carr a lot when he was with the Texans, seeing ghosts because he was just always hit. I mean, that happens because now what you think is very natural. You think, I have to get this done quicker because I don't have time to sit. And so now, whatever your first read is, you're pretty much going to lock onto. And whatever read you want to go to, you're trying to throw it in there quick, even if the timing's not right, or if you're not getting your feet set, and then you have bad ball placement. And so it just goes on and on. So, it's a bad cycle. And so we'll see kind of what they do. I don't know there's much. As I said, with Tevin out, and we don't even know if Tevin, was going to make the transition, but with him not being there, that really threw a monkey wrench in things. And so it's bad. It's bad. And not even like, the Chicago Bears bad. Like, for what we did for an NFL team is sad. And there's been sad performances like this, but you don't want to be in this category. Where you're talking about at one point, not even 1 point, I think about a half, we had more penalty yards than offensive yards. We had -1 passing yards deep into the second quarter. And so just some of the stuff we did today was just, Jesus. Now, flipping the defense. I don't understand, like, people that try to go back and forth about the pass rush and stuff because, bro, like, this is very much my wheelhouse, but we'll go there. You talk about, what's his name? Robert Quinn, and people try to hype him up. Khalil Mack, been hyped up. They're not that good, people. I've been saying that. They're not that good. And I give Robert Quinn his credit, and I've always said the best lean in the whole NFL, and it's still pretty up there, but he's just not there. And so they'll sit here getting hyped. I won't even say getting hyped. It's the broadcast. It's their job to hype stuff up. But they was talking like, Robert Quinn and Mack was getting after it. They both got a sack while they were unblocked. Like, yes, they came. It wasn't even a chip. They did like the little naked bootleg back across. And so it wasn't even like anybody was blocking Khalil Mack on that sack. He just had to decide whether he was going to play the quarterback or not. And he ended up getting a sack. And then Robert Quinn, I don't know if it was a miscommunication or what, but he was unblocked and got a sack. And they talking, they both got sacks and this is what they want to see. Man, please. That's not what I want to see. And then Robert Quinn's second one, which was even a half sack, that wasn't even him. That was Mario Edwards. And that was the stunt inside by the 2 D-line. And they did exactly what the Browns did, by the way, with the 3 to one side. But either way, Quinn cleaned it up. And people, again, this is why I don't listen to a win is a win, a touchdown's a touchdown, a sack's a sack. No, it's not. Context matters because it predicts future performance. And so when you got a situation where Mack and them getting a sack because they were unblocked, that's not going to happen often. And so there's that. And then that contributes to what we all know is that once we don't get pass rush, and that's the case often, quarterbacks have a lot of time to make plays down the field. Now, Baker was messing himself up, especially early in the game. He had a lot of easy throws that he missed. But I still would say for the most part, there wasn't too much pressure on him. There were some plays, like typical, where our defense, our secondary did their job, and they were able to pretty much make sure that there was nothing downfield to go to, and so we got coverage sacks. But overall, it's just like, bro, we really didn't have any pass rush, and we know how that is with teams. Now, this team in particular, screen game, run game is a lot bigger for them. And we didn't look great there either. For the most part, we did early on, and it's exactly what I said before the game. The only chance we really had was the interior D-line. And even though they did the job early, which makes sense because they kept it close, but I would still say that when you look at, towards the rest of the game, we didn't really expect to have an offensive performance that horrible. And so if we were able to even keep pace at some level on offense, I think it was exactly what I said. We only stayed in that game because we were able to control the line of scrimmage to a point where they weren't running downhill on us constantly. And then obviously that's where a little bit of the pressure came from. And again, I mean, the stunts, the whatever we did in the middle to free up the edge, that comes from the interior D-line. Now, I know we don't have Eddie Goldman, and I know Akeem Hicks was in and out, but that's still our strength, and it allows Roquan to run around and do his thing. And so, unfortunately, offense didn't hold up their side of the bargain. But that's how that kind of goes. The last thing I'll say, and I know people don't like hearing all this, but the Jalen Johnson thing, y'all need to stop. It's not too many people, but I already see some people lockdown corner, elite corner. No, he is not. Please do not start that. Please do not start that. Oh, look at these numbers. Bro, it's been 2 games, A. And B, numbers do not tell the whole story. And I'm not saying Jalen's not good or anything. Y'all know how I feel about Jalen. He's cool. He's not a lockdown corner. He's good with what he can do. And as a second-year player, getting a little more confident in that. And that's cool, but let's stop this. This narrative needs to die right now because he does not have nearly the type of talent to be a lockdown corner. And so, like Kyle Fuller, like everything else within our scheme, is able to do some things, and we could appreciate that. But going forward, I mean, really, is there really any difference than what we've been talking about? I mean, yeah. I mean, we are the Bears. We are the Bears. Matt Nagy, he needs to go. There's no imagination in this offense. And I said this last year, not even, beyond the offense, the play call and all that. One of the issues is that the team is just not disciplined. They're not well coached. And that has to fall on the head coach no matter what. And, they like to give too much credit to the head coach, too much blame, all that good stuff. We know how that goes. But one thing I will always say is that the coach, the discipline of the team comes down to the coach. It is what it is. And so as I watch us, especially on offense, we don't know our assignments sometimes. We get confused. The receiver, Allen Robinson, also let me say, does not care about blocking, never has, and just never gives the effort. And it really hurts our run game. But anyway, the lack of effort, the lack of like understanding the assignment, that has to fall back on Nagy, and we just look terrible. And honestly, after today, I wouldn't be shocked if they talking about maybe firing him. Not gonna lie. So anyway, that's it for me. Go down the comment section, let me know what you think. Share it around, get the conversation started. Thumbs up, subscribe, and remember, stay up and bear down.